and everything,
Hmm.
and she's crazy. Like you'd think that it's just since she's a pop star that it would just be pop cheese, but it's good. Or the
I
writing
always
actually
just
has
like
like,
when people are that successful, I always assume that there's like something working for them. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like you got the best songwriters in the world, you got the best producers in the world, the best musicians, and like that isn't the case with Taylor Swift. That isn't the case with a lot of the
mhm.
superstars that I react to, but definitely not with Taylor Swift.
Yeah. She has very meaningful music, and
Hmm.
I need to do more. But she really impressed me, and I became a Swifty pretty quick. I
Pretty
became a
quick.
Swifty quick,
If you
and
can, if you haven't, go to one of her concerts, bro.
dude, I want to, but have you seen the prices of the tickets?
So I went in 2013, I want to say, or 12 during her Red tour, and we
Hmm.
paid like $350 for like terrible seats.
Yeah, her tickets are. I was looking at one. It was like front row, so of course it's going to be expensive. But I was looking at front row tickets. Just it wasn't even like local. I was just looking to see the prices and everything. And dude,
Oh, I bet.
it was insane.
I bet.
And I I think it's cool for an artist to make the money they make and
Hmm.
everything. It's deserving, but at the same time, it's like, bruh. Sometimes it gets ridiculous with the ticket. Like I keep talking about it. I was wanting to go to a Bad Omens. I don't know if you ever heard of Bad Omens, but I
Hmm.
was wanting to go to a Bad Omens concert in Atlanta, like really, really bad. And like tickets in the far, far back was like $350.
Yep.
It was ridiculous. And
Yep.
all it was like the scalpers, like they buying tickets and flipping them. But
That sucks though, because the fan, the consumer is the one that pays for that, right?
yeah, it's so stupid. I wish there was a way that they could combat that, but it's just I don't see how they would ever be able to stop it.
Well, when you get to the size of Taylor Swift, Beyonce, like I got this Forbes list in front of me of all the highest grossing tours this year. Like, unless they start doing residencies in each city, how do you get all the people?
Yeah.
Like they sell out every show in minutes. Like it has to be expensive because there has to be some sort of like a barrier to entry, I guess.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Right?
Yeah, it makes sense. It's just kind of sucks at the same time,
It does
but
suck.
yeah, I would like to see her live. I think I've watched her the tour she's currently doing. I think it's like new something
Era tour, yeah.
era. Yeah.
Or eras.
Yeah, eras. I watched that. Somebody was streaming it on the Swifties probably know. There was like a Twitch channel that Hey Jamie, actually, I think she's like a follower, but
Mutual
both of
friend,
us.
yeah.
Yeah, friend, but she got me watching the Twitch stream of the tour, one
Mm.
of the shows, and I watched like there was like 2 or 3 weekends in a row. I watched like the whole show, and I was like, dude, this looks so sick. That would be so sick to see live because
Yeah.
like she has some crazy stage stuff going on, and it's ridiculous. It's very high production.
Hmm. Um, I had a thought for that. I saw a video of someone breaking down the light and the stage design of it. So they had like this
Oh
3D rendering thing. You'd probably dig this.
yeah,
And he could spin it all around. It showed like how wide the stage was, the different angles and everything. And he could run
man.
simulations of the lights and how they moved and everything. Like it was so cool.
Yeah, that sounds crazy.
I'll
I have
pin
to
that.
watch
I'll
that.
pin that in the comments below, my friends. You gotta remember
Yeah.
we're having a podcast here, not just chatting.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds crazy actually.
I wish the guy
I
had
would love to
more
see it.
videos and more followers, man. I think he had like 2,000 subs.
What? With
Y-
that
Yep.
type of video? That's
I could
crazy.
be wrong, man. I could be totally talking about out of my butt, but I'm pretty sure he had like only a few thousand. His videos were
Yeah.
really, really in depth, but like for someone like you and me, man, like it's really cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd love to see that. Yeah, she Taylor Swift, she was already like I was already a big fan of her with all her stuff going on. But then she started dating Travis Kelsey,
Mm.
and I'm a big fan of the Kelsey brothers. I'm a big fan of the NFL.
So
Um
that just kicked it up for you.
Yeah, it kicked it up for me. Yeah, they have a podcast that's really good, and he how it all started was, and I remember seeing this clip, but I thought it was just like I thought he was just like saying stuff, but then I started seeing like she was actually coming to games and stuff like that. But uh, he was like on the podcast, he was like saying he went to one of her concerts, and he was you know how she gives like people give friendship bracelets to people out in the crowd and everything.
Yeah.
Uh, he said that he was wanting to give her his friendship bracelet and it had his number on it. And
Oh,
that was like how that's supposedly how it started. He said that, and I guess he slid in the DMs or she slid in his DMs or something, and then they started like actually dating. And I was like, bro, I'm done.
crazy.
I can't believe it started that way.
Yeah. Hey man, that just means you got to shoot your shot out there.
Yeah, yeah, shoot your shot.
All you
That's what he
listening,
said. I'm pretty sure he said in the clip. He was like, "Hey man, I'm just shooting my shot" or something like that. I'm pretty sure he said something like that.
something to the effect of.
Yeah, but I thought that was too cool.
Okay, I got 2 questions. You can decide which one you want to answer.
Okay.
So number 1, what is the most, say, intricate or like big and crazy concert you've seen? Kind of like, Taylor Swift, Beyonce with all their moving pieces.
Mm.
Or do you have a funny story about how you got asked out?
Hmm. Honestly, both answers suck. I've actually never been to like a giant concert for anybody.
That's okay.
Uh, yeah, I've never been to a giant concert for anybody. And as far as like being asked out, the the really it's all just been pretty normal.
Yeah.
Usually, like most of the time, if I ever got asked out, it was somebody like randomly gave somebody my number and they texted me. I'm like, "Who is this?" And then they tell me, and I'm like, oh, "Okay." And then we end up start talking, and then we'll. That's usually how. That's like how it usually works. If somebody asks me out, usually I'm the one asking out.
Nice. Good for you.
Yeah,
I
got horrible answers for both of those. I'm sorry.
No,
I'm
that's good.
sorry.
I'm gonna use that as a segue. So I want to preface this with saying that like I don't really like talking about the bands that I've worked with to an extent. I
Mm-hmm.
like to explain that it's not like they looked me up and hired me and got me on the show. Like that's not what happened, right? It's like
Mm.
I was hired into like a contractor position at our stadium in town, and I'm basically just given directions, and I was given the privilege of having a little bit better of a job than just the regular hired people. So like I would work on the shows, but it's not like I had any actual like influence or like decision making powers on the shows, if that makes sense.
Oh, I got
Right. Um,
you. Yeah.
so like we did a Kiss tour. Kiss came through.
Oh.
And speaking of masked musicians and giant stage things, they had a giant, I think it was a spider, and all the legs
Oh,
like lifted and everything. And it also blew
man,
fire.
crazy.
Oh, the body of it came down so Gene Simmons could climb on top of it and then he could like ride it up into the sky. That's what it did.
That's crazy.
Like, sure,
Yeah.
why not?
I guess.
Uh,
So what exactly did you ever do like any sound work or anything, or was it mainly just what exactly you say you just told people like what to do?
Kind of. So I would get told what to do, and then I would tell people what to do. So, like when a
Okay.
tour like that comes around, the semi trucks show up like at 7 a.m. or maybe the day before or whatever, and they bring all their equipment, right? And they have like their tour crew, all the people with the band that come out, and like the engineers that build the stage, build the speaker designs, everything, and they just need bodies to help them, right? And then
Mm.
of those bodies, they need someone to manage them.
Oh, I got
So I would, if it wasn't like one of my counterparts running audio, then it was me running audio, or sometimes it'd be 2 or 3 of us. We might be on like power stage. We might be on like any of the lighting projects. Like us, our core group specifically was always audio or staging focused. Um,
you. Yeah.
but we would also have jobs like we call them stage hands. So like you'd show up for show calls, so half an hour before the show, and then like if there was props moving or like if there was an opener, you'd help them get their instruments off stage and then get the headliner back on.
Mm.
So it was a really cool gig. It's just like I don't want it to sound like I'm trying to say that I was like a part of the Kiss tour, because that's not the
Oh
case.
yeah. I get what
You
you're
know what
saying.
I'm saying?
So you were just like you were like a manager at or whatever you want to call it at the
Yeah.
venue that they were
Yeah,
at.
yeah,
Yeah,
something
yeah.
like that. So, um, there was a few of us that did audio like productions full time. So when we went into shows like that, like we kind of knew what was going on. So the
Yeah.
tour crew would say, "Hey man, I need this, this, and this done." You go, "Okay, great." You go find your crew, then you just get like the speakers built, and then you gotta get the electrician to run the wire over so you can get all the power amps lit up, and
Gotcha. So y'all were kind of like the crew for hire, basically.
exactly, yeah.
Yeah, I got you.
But it was cool, man. Like that Kiss show specifically was on a buddy of mine's birthday. So like that's just like an exciting event. It's Kiss, like you can't go wrong with that. And they've got like
Yeah.
as far as bands that come around us, man, that's one of the biggest budgets we've ever seen. So now we get to see all the cool instruments, all the cool speakers for us nerds. Like it was
Yeah.
a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It was a cool gig.
So is that I know you say you don't like to talk about a lot of the people that you
Hmm.
work with, but
I'm,
who
I'm
are
fine with
people
it
that
as
you
long as
don't
that
mind?
first part makes sense. I'll
Oh,
talk about
okay,
all
yeah.
of it as long as people don't think that I'm trying to like clout chase or try to make it something that it's not, because that's not the
Oh
case. But I'll
no,
talk
no,
about it.
I completely understand. You worked at the venue that the tours came to.
Exactly. Yeah. So
Yeah, I get what you're
yeah.
saying.
So we did lots,
Uh,
man.
what's your favorite band that you've got to work with?
Um, I've been starstruck a handful of times. Most of the music I listen to is like really old music though. Like
Okay.
80s rock, 70s rock. So,
Oh yeah,
um I don't know if you'll know them. Like have you ever heard of Nazareth?
I have. Yeah, I
Yeah.
have.
So, I wasn't even 18 yet. I was 17 and they were playing at the venue in town and I like the production company I work for was like, "Hey man, you should come out. Like it'll be a blast." And that was the same night as like our safe grad or whatever, like our big high school grad party. And I was basically
Hmm.
like, "Fuck you guys, I'm going to hang out in Nazareth." Like,
Yeah.
and so we rode around in their tour bus till like 4 in the morning. Um, we'll say consuming beverages and whatever else they were getting up to. And then I had to like
Hmm.
go back to high school the next day.
Oh, man.
So like that was pretty cool. I was like starstruck because I could play all their songs on guitar. I had seen them a couple times before, so like that was right up my alley,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, that's crazy.
We had Eric Church roll through.
Oh, okay.
You
I
know,
like Eric Church.
you like Eric Church? He
Yeah, I like Eric Church.
he had his stretch like limo pull into the venue and pick him up like at the back of the venue indoors. And we're all tearing down and loading out everything. It's like midnight. And he rolls by and he stops the limo. He comes out the sunroof and he's got this like big like pimp coat on, bro. Like fur coat, like draping over him. And he's all southern, and I'm not gonna do the accent. And he's like, "Y'all killed it tonight. We had a great evening. Hope to see you guys again." He just drives out of there. It's like, all right, see you
Yeah.
later.
Well, hey, at least he gave a speech, a farewell speech.
Yeah. It was pretty cool though, man. That band, it's like a rock show,
Yeah.
the live stuff. It's
The
like,
the, the Eric Church.
yeah,
Yeah.
they
Yeah,
played like
he has like he's a country artist, obviously, but he has like a very like rock persona. Like his character is very rock.
their
So,
live show, bro. It had like 2 kick drums, like the metal bands had like 10
mhm,
toms. They played a Van Halen song. It was awesome.
man,
Right.
yeah, I'd like to see him. I've actually never been to a country artist show, but I kind of want to. I was gonna go to. You ever heard of Hardy?
No, I don't think I have.
Yeah, he's really good. He's like a very rock country mix, and I was kind of want to go to one of his shows in December, I think it is,
You should.
but I'm not sure.
You should vlog it.
Yeah, I was thinking about it. I'm gonna. You ever heard of Theory of a Dead Man?
I've worked with Theory of Dead Man several times.
Really,
Yeah,
really?
on a more
I'm not.
intimate level on those ones too, actually.
Oh, okay.
But yeah,
Yeah,
go ahead.
I'm going. I'm going to one of their shows. Them, Skillet, and Saint Sonia, which is
Mm,
basically like 3 Days Grace.
yep.
Yeah.
That's with the old singer, 3 Days Grace, right?
Yeah, old
Yeah.
singer, 3 Days Grace. Yeah, they're even doing. I looked up. I mean, I don't know if they're actually going to do it at this show or not, but apparently on this tour, you know how you can look up set lists and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Supposedly, they're playing like a lot of 3 Days Grace songs, like "I Hate It, Everything About You"
Great
and
song.
all that.
3 Days Grace,
I'm
man,
excited for that one.
with Adam Gontier or whatever his name was.
Yeah, I
That
think.
was one of my favorite bands, like ever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm pretty sure this band is basically just. I don't know what happened between him and the 3 Days Grace people, but the rest of the band. But it seems like this band is just like a remake of that band. like I said, they're even doing cover. I guess he has the rights to the song. I don't know how that works, but it said that they were doing covers of those of 3 Days Grace, and then they're doing a couple of their own originals.
So
But I'm excited for that.
what's kind of interesting is like when you're like if you write a song and you produce it and you put all the parts together and everything and you hand it to me and I write the melodies and the vocals, like the lyrics and the
Mm-hmm.
melodies for them, then I'm entitled to 50% of the rights to that song, which is like it's a paired ownership at this point, right? So if I
Yeah.
leave, I'm allowed to perform that song if I split my royalties with whatever the deal is, right?
Huh.
So in theory, you can sign deals that like kind of split that off differently, but in like typically that's how it works, especially in the streaming world. Like if you collaborate with an artist, like so like I'm an established band, but I hire you to be the singer, the same thing, you
Mm-hmm.
get 50% in
Hmm.
theory.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
that would make
that
sense
must
that
be
they could
what
still do
I
it.
mean, like I said, they're doing covers of 3 Days Grace music, and I'm sure he was the lead singer, so I'm sure he wrote a lot of the lyrics.
I'm sure he did, yeah.
But anyways, I'm excited for that one because I love 3 Days Grace, and I love Theory of a Dead Man, and I love all of them.
Yeah.
So
Theory of the Dead Man played at a bar here in town, like when they were first coming up. And I think I was only 16 or 17, bro. But I got to like be side stage at the monitor desk with the guy, and I can't remember what happened, but he hurt his throat. And between like the night before our show and the next night, I think they had to take a couple nights off. So he like really
hmm.
messed up his throat, and then after that, his voice kind of changed. Like I don't know if he had surgery or something, but like he kind of started sounding like that. Kind of had like I don't want to sound disrespectful because I don't know what happened to him, but it kind of sounded like he had a little peanut butter in his mouth.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, so like at first he didn't really sound like that, and then after a while he did, and I'm pretty sure it was something to do with like damage to his voice or something.
yeah.
I
Crazy.
think I could be totally wrong, but yeah, it was a bar called Fire and Ice here in town. It was kind of neat.
Hmm.
It's just like you hear their songs on the radio, and then now they're playing them right in front of you, and it's like what a trip.
Yeah, yeah,
You know,
yeah.
you got to get
Yeah,
to some
it's
concerts, bro.
it's very weird going to a concert to a band that you're like really a fan of because it's like, dude, I listen to all these songs so much, and then you see it live, and it's like, bro, they're right here.
Yeah, like they're like
Cool.
yeah.
Yeah,
When you do go to concerts, are you like on the floor or do you like the seats?
I like the seats.
Yeah,
I like to be right behind the pit. That's the dream position,
where
like
you can
right there
see
behind
right
the
over the
pit.
crowd.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah, the same deal, man. In my young days, I liked the crowd. I like jumping around. I can't do it anymore.
yeah. No, I like to. I like usually I'll like stand up for like 90% of it, but if there's a song that's kind of chill, I'll sit down for a second. I like to like just relax.
Yeah,
Have fun, and then like if I want to take a break for a second, then I'll take a break for a second and things like that. I don't like having to have stand up,
yeah, oh
And
yeah,
then
absolutely
yeah,
with you. What else we got on this list here, man? So I mean, we could use the Kiss thing to transition into the bands with masks. I want to hear your
oh
thoughts
yeah,
on this.
yeah. Okay, so I want to ask you and anybody watching, for example, one of my favorite bands is Sleep Token,
Okay.
and they are amazing. I love their music. They're really good, but I feel like part of what makes me like them so much is that nobody knows who they are. Like everybody's trying to guess, and people think they know who like the lead singer is and everything, but they really don't know. Like there's nothing confirming who they are, and I feel like that has to play some kind of role in the success of the band. Because to me, like I said, their music's really good, but to me, it's just like, dude, I wonder who that is, or like that's so sick. Like to me, it's so sick that they don't reveal who they are. It's like all about the music, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. Do you think that plays like a factor?
I do, man, and I'd kind of like to explore that because I've never really thought about it that way. Um, so like, do you think that it becomes because like Sleep Token's pretty intricate music, right?
Yeah, yeah, it is. It's kind of like a jazz, hard music type deal. It's like
Okay.
hard. It's supposed to be metal, but
So
it's
like,
very jazzy.
you know, when like we were just talking about like with Taylor Swift, how she's so successful that we kind of assume that there's something behind it.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that like if we saw a human that we would assume there was something behind it?
Hmm.
Like you know how like Ronnie, I don't remember his last name from Falling
Falling
in
in reverse.
Reverse, like how he's
Yeah,
taking
yeah.
all that heat for like using backing tracks and like all this like having attitude.
Oh yeah,
You know what
I
I
see what
mean?
you're saying. So you're saying if he had a mask on, where you're kind of like seeing the character and not a person.
Yeah,
Is that
like
what you're
maybe
getting
you
at?
remove the human emotion from it a little bit and you just see the like quote unquote freak that is, whether it's like their attitude, their like ability to play, and maybe just accept
Hmm.
it for being like this being, right?
Yeah, yeah. That's what's kind of cool about it, because it is like, since you don't know the person, you don't know, like with Ronnie, like you Google his name, and most of the time it's not going to be nothing about. Well, I mean, you'll see stuff about music, but like it's like his backstory, like
Mhm.
who's his wife, who's his girlfriend, what's his past, and then you start forming an opinion on the person, and that kind of affects how you think about the music. And
Mhm.
that's just, I mean, it's weird, but sometimes it's, at least that's how I am.
I'm
Like
like that too,
if
bro. It
I,
is what it is, right?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So with Sleep Token, for example, it's just they their characters are so cool, and it goes along with like their theme. And I ain't even gonna try to explain their theme. You just gotta you gotta look at their costumes and know they like wear robes and all that stuff. But it's just I feel like you said, it creates a character. And have you ever watched anime or like
I have,
anything like
yeah.
that?
I
It's
actually
kind of
have.
like with anime. I love anime and things like that. And if you're watching a show, like if I'm watching The Walking Dead, or if I'm watching Breaking Bad, or I'm watching like one of these shows, I'll be like, okay, this actor. I start in the back of my mind. I'll be like, dude, this dude's a really good actor. I'll be like, this guy's a really bad actor, or I'll be like, I think about stuff like that. But when I'm watching like an anime where it's like a cartoon, I know there's a voice actor, but I'm like, that's the character. That's not a
Mm.
person playing a character. That's the character. You
Mhm.
know. And like when you're reading a book, it's the same thing. It's like that's the character. It doesn't
Mhm.
feel like there's somebody playing that character. And so I feel like that with like the masked musicians, it's like that's the character. It's not somebody like playing. It's not. I don't know. I'm trying to make it make sense, but maybe that makes sense.
It's interesting though. Like there's like a fantasy to it almost,
Yeah,
which makes it like almost acceptable, right?
yeah,
That's cool though because for a long time that wouldn't have been. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like that would have been like in the 90s, what were those the it was a rap group and they had a song called Homies.
Jabberwockies.
No. Oh man, that's a dance group, right?
Oh, it could be. That could be yeah, yeah. I'm trying to.
With the masks on and everything?
Yeah, I know. Did I don't really know too much about like the old school like rap. Um,
I thought the Jabberwockies was a new thing, but I'm trying to think of
they might not. They might. I don't know. Let's see. Hold on. I'm about to Google it.
I got you. I got you. I got you. I can picture it on the top of my so that's hit my tongue. Insane Clown Posse. It's like those
Oh yeah,
ICP
yeah, yeah,
festivals and all that stuff. Like that's where
yeah.
I was going with that. Like something to do with that being in the 90s and stuff. Oh, that was less accepted. That like put you in a box of like this like cult music almost, right?
Oh yeah, yeah,
You
yeah,
know what I
yeah.
mean?
I
They had
see
their
that.
faces painted, like this whole shit, and it was like it was rappers and people showing up to mosh to the rappers.
Yeah,
And it was like this whole like kind of crossover scene, and that became, for me at least, it went from that into like pretty heavy metal. Like I was listening, wow, they're a little tamer, but there's this band called Ghost. They're all like dressed up in like zombie paint and then like the priest outfit and shit. Like it's crazy, right?
yeah, yeah. I actually like Ghosts.
They're great,
Yeah, I've
man.
listened to Ghosts. Yeah, they are good. Yeah, I don't know. I definitely. I feel like with the masks, it just makes the music better for me, because another note for me is it makes me feel like that person really and truly cares about like the music, or they want it to be based on the music and the narrative of like their band as a whole.
Mm,
And I'm not saying people that don't wear masks are like that, but it's just I feel like they don't want the fame. They just
Hmm.
want to be musicians, and they want because nobody knows who they are. Like when they walk off that stage and take off their stuff, nobody knows who they are.
Just a regular person.
So yeah, they're just a regular person. So it just makes me like respect them more because it's like that dude's like all about the music.
Yeah. Well, and like I guess like conservation of energy is important too. Like if you need to like separate from your life as the biggest rock star in the world, so you can just be a regular person in the day. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? You still got to go home and be a dad, be a husband, be like whatever your situation is. Speaking from
yeah,
our own kind of perspective here, right? Like that
yeah,
that probably helps a lot. But in the same breath, it's probably also like, hey man, like I spent a long time in the laboratory, like working on these riffs, working on these songs. Like I'd really appreciate if you paid attention to
yeah,
it.
yeah,
You know?
yeah. Yeah, it would be for me. I feel like it would be extremely hard to be a super talented musician and nobody know who I am. I know it sounds like very bad, but it's just like you said, you put so much work in, it almost makes you want to like get at least a little bit of recognition for it.
Mm-hmm.
But um,
But maybe you and I just have a little bit of an ego, and that's okay.
maybe so.
Mhm.
Maybe so. But
You know what? This
it,
in this moment right now, this is making me realize how frustrating it must be when people hear like, "Oh, no wonder you're successful because you look a certain way."
oh yeah,
You know what I mean? I like in this conversation right now, I'm realizing how frustrating that must be.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That would be annoying because I mean, which I guess like even me saying like I wonder if they're uh masks play a factor in them as kind of like the same thing. Like they're that good. I'm like, oh, the masks helped them get somewhere.
Well,
But
but like no, you're saying that it adds to the artistry of it.
yeah, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like for me, it just makes me feel like that dude's about the music, and to me, it feels like it's like I said, it's like a character. It's the character of the like you said, it adds to the artistry. That's the
Mhm.
best way to put it.
Are you
That's
are,
the way I see it.
are you like an introvert or are you an extroverted person?
I really don't know. I guess I'm like in between. Some days I'm an extrovert, and some days I'm an introvert.
Okay. Do you have like activities that make you extroverted?
Yeah,
Like you like
yeah. I
doing
always,
something and that you can go out and do that?
yeah, I always like doing something. I like going out. And I like not like partying and doing things like that. I just like going out, like going out to eat, going
Doing
out to
stuff.
yeah, doing stuff. I don't really like to be at home all the time.
Yeah, see, I'm the same, and then I'm gonna loop this back because I wonder if like people don't like being in front of people. If they put the paint on, now they can.
Oh yeah,
You know what I
yeah. I
mean?
think that's true. There's actually a Twitch streamer, Doctor Disrespect. Have you by any chance ever seen him? He's like he's a gamer and all that, but he gets like a lot of views. Um, but he wears like this get up. He's supposed to be like a I forgot what year, but he's like a retro gamer. That's like
Okay.
his like character. And he long story short, he's dressed up. He doesn't wear a mask, but he has like shades on, and he uh has this mustache and all that. And anyways, he's like super funny and outgoing and like this extroverted person like on stream, and like he goes to events and he'll wear that get up, and he's like real extroverted. But then there's been times where he was like on camera without his stuff on, and he was like a totally different person.
Oh,
Like
I
he was
bet.
like shy and like barely talking and all that.
I
So I
bet.
think that does like play a factor. And I was actually like gonna say that too. I was thinking that it probably makes you feel like a little more free, like when you're up there performing,
Mm.
because there's no sense of judgment because nobody knows who. Once, like I said, when you walk off, nobody knows who you are. So that one show is it.
Hmm.
So if you mess up, if you have a bad show, of course people's gonna know Sleep Token, but they're not gonna be able to be like, "Oh, Trevor had a bad show that night." They're just gonna
Hmm.
be like, "Oh, that guitarist, he messed up or something like." You know what I'm saying? Like they won't be able to. You just feel more free because there's not as much judgment on you as a person,
Yeah. Well,
and you don't got to worry about what you look like.
I wonder if there's like even less internal judgment because like I have a hard time. Like if I do a reaction,
Mhm.
sometimes it takes me 2 3 days to post it because I'm like self conscious about it.
Oh yeah.
But if nobody knew who I was and they couldn't attack me, my person as it is, then I might post it right away, right?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. That's an interesting thought. I've never given it really two thoughts to.
Yeah. Yeah. It's I've always thought it would be cool. Like I've played a lot, as is. I never wore a mask, but I've thought about what it would be like to just play like where nobody knew who you were, and that seems like it would be so fun because it just, like I said, it would just feel so judge free. Because sometimes I'll like when I'm up there playing, obviously I'll be in the music and I'm enjoying the music, but at the same time I'm kind of thinking. Maybe it's just because I'm like insecure in general, but I'll be like, do I look stupid right now, or like, do I? Because like you're kind of giving a performance like physically as well as the music when you're actually performing.
Mm-hmm. You want to make
So
sure you
it's
have
just
stage presence and
yeah,
make
yeah,
it
stage
engaging.
presence. So like you just think about like what you look like a lot, or at least I did,
Yeah.
and I just thought that would be so cool to not to take that factor out and only focus on the music and just feeling the music and everything. I think that'd be so cool.
See, that's an interesting thought because, like, when I was in my band, when we performed lots, like, I had that like internal demon too. I'd be like, "Are you moving around enough? Like, you swaying funny? Like, what are you doing, right?" And then
Yeah,
I kind of started wearing more and more ridiculous outfits, and then it was like, well, now I know what they're looking
yeah,
at.
yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I mean? And like,
Hmm.
I say I like slutted up lots. Like, I would wear like a vest and no shirt and like uh, button up shirt. By the end of the night, it's all fully unbuttoned. Like I was like, I'm playing the part. But it seemed like
Yeah,
the more I pushed that, the more I pushed myself into that kind of space, the more free I was to perform.
yeah.
And it's interesting, man. Like it's what a weird thing.
Yeah, yeah, it's true. Yeah, I know what you're saying. I've never tried any other way, but just being like normal me up there playing. Like you do think about like, what do I look like right now? Am I moving around enough? Am I showing people that I'm into the music? Do I have like, am I just like, uh, looking like I'm mad even though I'm just concentrating? Like
Mm-hmm.
I thought about that a lot. I'll be like, do I look like I'm angry just because I'm like concentrating? And I'll
Like
be like
bitch
trying to
face
like,
face.
yeah, yeah. Yeah. So like it's just stuff like that. I just think it'd be cool to wear a mask and just jump around.
Mm-hmm. I thought it'd be fun to like I'm working with a musician in Germany. I'd like to like go out to Germany and play 2, 3 shows and then come back home.
Oh
Just be like,
yeah.
I'll never see any of you ever again in my life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, let's just
Yeah.
have fun.
Yeah.
But then,
That'd be
like
cool.
that's got to be what it's like to an extent with, a lot of these superstars, mask or not. Cuz like, they you see lots of stories about superstars remembering people forever and they remember their birthdays and send them messages and stuff, but like you have 90,000 people in front of you
Yeah.
5 nights a week.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? It's almost like the
Yeah.
reverse factor.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like I know for me, the bigger the crowd is, the easier the show is.
Oh, absolutely agreed.
Like when it's like smaller and more intimate, then I get a lot more nervous.
Yep.
But when it's just more people, it doesn't bother me because it's just like a sea of people. Because it's kind of like what you like. I'll never see these people again, or what are the odds of me seeing them? Even though there's so many, it's just yeah.
Or like if
So
someone does, it's usually like real quick, like, "Oh, I saw you playing." Like, "Oh, dope. See you later."
yeah,
Right?
yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's never super intimate, but if it's like I said, an intimate setting, that's when I get nervous.
Yeah,
But
we have an acoustic lounge in town, and it's like this little stage. You're like maybe not even 2 feet above the seats, and you're like walking distance. Like there's enough room for the waitress to walk by between the stage and the first table, and it's just acoustic. So like it's just you and your acoustic guitar, this little loudspeaker, and people.
yeah,
I just don't do well in that, man. Like we would go play and have energy and run around, but then you like put me like this close, and I'm like, I don't know what to say to you.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's weird. So,
What else
but
you got on your list here, man? What else you want to talk about?
I think we covered just about everything I wanted to talk about. Really, the main thing I was wanting to pick your brain about was the mask deal,
Okay,
and we pretty much covered all bases on that one.
okay, I like that. You wanted to ask me about? Oh, we kind of talked about some artists that I had worked with. Did you have any other questions around
Oh,
the
oh
like
yeah,
music
yeah,
stuff?
yeah. I was gonna say, you said that you work with Shinedown, and I'm a big fan of Shinedown. I just went to their concert like a couple weeks ago.
They're so good,
Uh,
eh?
yeah, yeah, they're really good. I was gonna ask you what it was like to work for their show.
Um, so I was expect I had a bad experience with my like main boss, my like main partner in the production work that I did, right? The guy, like my
Mm-hmm.
mentor, the guy that I bought everything from, the guy that taught me everything. We worked together all the time. He was like a very abusive old man, verbally, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I had a lot of poor expectations of people in the industry because of that. So my general kind of like thought process was if I go in here expecting everyone's going to be terrible, then I won't be let down when they're terrible, right? And I went
Mm-hmm.
into that thinking that it was going to be one of the worst nights of the week. Like I think we were like we worked all weekend, like it was like a long weekend type thing with celebrations, and then it was like NFL party or like Grey Cup party or something, and then it was the Shinedown show. So we're all like exhausted, man. And they had like 5 6 songs on the radio too, so they were like on top, right? And it's
Mm-hmm.
just like they're gonna come in here with this ego, man, and they're gonna be all these like dicks, right? And it was the nicest crew I think I've ever worked with in my life.
Man.
Honest to God. I remember this one of the like so when you go into the stadium, you'll know more about this than I will, but like the structure of the building is rated to support so much weight. So they have engineers come out and they pick all the harnessing points where they can fly the different motors to put the supports up in the air. And the
Mm-hmm.
chick that was doing that, she was this like gorgeous Australian chick with dreads down to the back of her knees and like these big camel pants on and just like pushing these guys around and just ran the whole show, man. And like friendliest motherfuckers I've ever met in my life. And then the
Man.
band comes out and they're just bros, man. Just like they just like roll in wearing whatever they're wearing. They're like, all right, we're ready. It was
Yeah.
like just jump up on stage, man, put on a hell of a show. Holy
Yeah.
crap.
Yeah, the concert I went to, it was like really good. Like they were bouncing around, they were going crazy, and the bass player, he was playing everything. He was playing piano, doing all that, and he was headbanging, jumping around, doing everything. There was like at the end of the show, there was like, "Thank y'all so much for being a good crowd. I'm under the weather," and Eric, which was like the bass player, was like, he's got bronchitis or something. I was thinking, bro, they literally are that sick, and they're going through all that, and they were jumping around, head banging, doing all that, like there was nothing wrong. I was like, bro, they're a different breed.
Unreal, man. Yeah. I remember they weren't like a metal band, but it was way heavier than it was on the radio.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like a lot of it was that bass player going crazy, guitar player like throwing the guitar around, and that singer,
Hmm.
man, like he could be one of my favorite male vocalists like to come around for a long time. Honest to
Yeah,
God.
yeah, he's like he's very his voice is very unique for that genre, I feel like.
Mhm.
And I know the guitar player, like that dude, Zach Myers, I think is his name. Like,
Sounds
dude,
right.
he is the master of like he's a master of guitar. Like, bro was like literally like playing with his like feet and stuff. Like, it was crazy.
Because
Like,
it's the singer, bass player, and multi guy, guitar player, drummer, right?
yeah,
There's no two
hmm,
guitar players unless the singer's playing like acoustic guitar or something.
yeah, no, it's just one guitar player, bassist, drummer, singer,
Yeah. Okay. Dope. Dope.
four
Dope.
piece.
Fire, man.
Yeah, yeah, they were insane.
Yeah.
But
How was the
yeah,
show?
it was really good. There, it was Papa Roach was also there,
Yep.
and Papa Roach, like, dude, Papa Roach was,
They're so solidified, eh?
dude, they were in, like, honestly, like that was so good. Like, I love Shinedown. I'm telling you right now, I'm a big fan of Shinedown, and they put on a crazy show. But I think Papa Roach done even better than they did. Like, it was crazy. It was really, like, Papa Roach was insane. And
I couldn't name a single Papa Roach song, but when I was watching them too, man, I was like, holy shit, these guys are good. Like,
yeah, yeah,
wow.
they were putting on a crazy show. And the guy, I don't know the lead singer's name, but he was like running around the whole like amphitheater.
Wow, really?
Like he was like he went way back to the back. He was going everywhere, just running around singing and stuff. It was crazy.
Gotta wonder how they have the
And
energy for that.
I don't know, like I was thinking, like I was tired and I was just watching them do it. I was like, how are y'all doing all this? And
Yeah.
And then then Spirit Box was the opener, and Spirit Box has been doing like pretty good. They're like hard. I guess it would be hardcore metal. I don't know. They're like screams and stuff like that a lot. But
Interesting.
that was really good. People didn't really give them the time of day, and they're like a big. Uh, in my opinion, they're one of the bigger artists right now, like in rock
Hmm.
and the hard rock. And for some reason, people just didn't really vibe with them too much. I mean, I know they're the opener, but they didn't even. Nobody really cared.
Interesting. I guess like
Hmm.
I wonder like how big was the room that they were in?
It was a weekday when I went, so that I think there was 7,000 people total, but I think it could hold like 15,000 or something.
Okay.
I think it was but they
Was there like
when
less
they were
people when the opener was there or something?
yeah, when the opener was there, dude, there was probably like no joke, maybe 1,000 people if that, maybe. Like it looked very bare.
That's tough.
Yeah, I don't know why it was like, and everybody was sitting down, nobody stood up, and like I said, they're like a hard rock, like screamo type band. So it
Mm-hmm.
was just it was kind of awkward for some reason. I felt like they were nasty. They put on a crazy show, but for some reason, people just wasn't feeling it. I guess
Hmm.
because it's my theory was is that it was because Shinedown and Papa Roach are rock, but they're kind of like that mainstream kind of rock, and
Mm-hmm.
Spirit Box was like very like niche, like screamo, like kind of rock. So I feel like that's why people didn't really
Well, I go to Shinedown
mess
for
with.
the vocals, man. Honest to God.
Yeah,
Like their band is nasty, like you say, but that vocalist dude is like the
yeah,
emotion he portrays in his voice is unbelievable. I think he used to have a heroin addiction.
yeah. I think so.
Something like that, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, man. I like talk about someone going through something and portraying it in the way their voice sounds. It's like, wow.
yeah. His voice is ridiculous. And what's crazy is he like I said, he was at the end of that show. He was apologizing because he said, "Oh, we couldn't give y'all 100% tonight, and I'm so sorry, but y'all gave us 100%." Blah blah. He was like saying like thank yous and stuff, but he was saying that they couldn't give 100% because they was so sick. But I swear, like he sung like like I didn't hear him mess up one time. Like it was sounded just like the radio version. So
Crazy.
I don't. He's insane. He's
Well,
insane.
you got to wonder like what the expectation he puts on himself is then,
Yeah,
like
that's what I was thinking. Cause like what it was is he was about to they were about to sing the final song, and he was like, "I want y'all to give me 100%. Y'all gave me 100%. I need it one more time." Blah blah. And he was saying that they couldn't give 100% because they were sick, and I was mind blown because like I said, they put on a crazy show. I didn't even before he said that I didn't even realize they were sick
hmm,
because he didn't sound sick. The guitarist and bassist, whatever he played everything. But that guy, they both played a song and sung together, and they didn't sound like the dude had bronchitis and he was singing
like an
like a
angel.
madman, and I was like, bruh. So I don't know, but they done a really good show. It was fun, and like I said, Papa Roach was in insane. That was the first time I ever seen both bands, and they were really good.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm glad to hear. I I did well, I didn't do sound. I worked on a Buck Cherry show. If you know who Buck Cherry is.
Mm.
He did like that crazy bitch song and Sorry was another one.
I don't know. I don't think I've ever heard of him.
No? Okay. I'll send you one of his songs. You'd probably like it. But the
Okay.
band that opened for him, they're sponsored by Red Bull, stole the
Mm,
show. Like stole the show, bro. I'm
man.
I'm pretty sure I'm not in that band, so I can't speak for them. I'm pretty sure they changed their set list to try to win the crowd back over because all of a sudden they started playing some hits back to back. And Buck
Yeah.
Cherry's got some hits, man, but like they started playing the big ones, and it's like it's early.
Mm.
It's
Yeah.
because no one's paying attention.
Yeah.
But every once in a while, man, you can
Yeah.
find one of them legends, and they show up front by accident.
Yeah. Yeah. Who do you know who they are? Who that
Yeah, they're
was?
called Heaven's Basement.
Heaven's Basement. Okay.
Yeah, they're from I don't know where they're from actually, but yeah, they're endorsed by Red Bull. They got their singer quit and they got a new singer, I think. Um, but man, like the guitar player is just as good a singer as the lead's vocalist. And same thing, man, like the energy they put on and like just getting in front of the crowd and it's just like what do you do, man? They brought the house down. Like now
Yeah.
what?
Yeah. Yeah. You know it's gonna be a good show when the opener is getting everybody that hyped up.
Delivers, right?
Yeah.
Yep. What do you think, man? We're running up on about an hour here. Anything else you want to go
Yeah,
through today?
I think we covered everything I have on my list.
Okay,
There's a couple more questions, but we'll save them for next time.
Sure. I thought that was a lot of fun.
It was.
And
Good for
so you go ahead.
you go ahead.
I was gonna say we're working out the kind of ins and out of this all, but once this drops, we can kind of expect it to come out weekly. I think is kind of the decision, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we need to find an intro and an outro.
Yep.
And the rest of this, I think, is gonna be pretty fun.
Yep. Yeah, I think so too. Get an intro, outro. Get us a little, maybe get us a little logo made or something.
You heard it here. We're
That'd
looking
be
for a logo.
Yeah.
Okay, bro. I appreciate you hanging out tonight.
Yeah, it was fun.
All right. And all you watching, man, we appreciate you. We'll see you all in the next one.